Hey, Mariah,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm doing good. I apologize if I sound a little bit like death. I'm getting over a cold or something I picked up in Punta Cana. So
Uh-oh.
we're working through it.
I had heard some other people saying, I saw some people on a chat that they came back and started getting sick. So I guess
Yeah, the majority of us ended up with some kind of something, feeling kind of funky afterwards.
that's just from having too much fun. First of all, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for getting on here with us. We are so excited. When your name came up in the team chat, it was like, I sat next to her. I forget who it was. Was it Beatrice? That said somebody sat near you at the Punta Cana, and they remember you from being in Nashville and being pregnant, and so everybody's really excited about this. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm going to just let you get started. Introduce yourself and tell us about your story. How long you been in the business?
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you guys for having me. So my name is Mariah Newsom. I've been doing this a little over 4 years, which I feel like every time I say how long I've been doing this, it just is like awe-striking. Like I cannot believe that this has been my life for 4 years because I'm so different now than when I got started. And so I joined, me and my husband had just gotten married. We'd been married a matter of like, I think a month and a half. And the whole time we were together beforehand, we were long distance. He lived about 3.5 hours away. And so we were really used to this whole commuting and rarely seeing each other and all of that. And I was so excited to get married and be with him all the time. And within a couple of weeks of, being married, I realized I had seen him more while we were dating long distance than now that we were married. I was working 40 plus hours a week. We were living outside Atlanta, so I had to commute to the city every day. And if you guys know about that Atlanta traffic, okay, it was taking me 3 to 4 hours of just traffic a day. My husband was still finishing up school back where he was from, so he was having to commute 3.5, 4 hours once or twice a week. Doing odd and end jobs, and then I would get home and I would try to be this new wife with this new concept I'd never heard of or never understood, really never lived out. And so I was trying to clean, I was trying to do groceries, and I was trying to XYZ, and then I was tired and going to bed, and I just felt like everywhere I looked I was being reminded that I was a failure at this point in life. I wasn't seeing my husband that I just worked so hard to marry. I wasn't making money. Like I was working so hard to make the money, but I couldn't pay our bills. And then I would turn around and I was doing so much and the laundry was piling up and all of this. And I just remember praying and like, God, this can't be the life of more and abundance that you say that is out there for me. And I really wasn't looking for anything. I just needed something to give. And I was just praying for anything. And I saw one post on Facebook and I was like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. I'll be honest, I joined to prove that this industry is a scam. It does not work. Okay, I was one of those. I have an insane work ethic, and I always have. And so I knew that if I joined this, and if I didn't make money, there's no way these other people are making money because I'm willing to outwork all of them. And so I jumped in full feet, like all of it ready to go, but also at the same time, not really believing anything would happen. And God just did something entirely different for me. And within 8 months, I went double diamond and insert, income disclosure. This was a while ago with old charts and stuff. And my first double diamond check was over $9,000. And I remember just sitting there being like, oh my gosh, I freaking made it, you guys. Like, this is game changing. My entire life is like going in a different direction. And I grew up really like hard on the struggle bus. I grew up in poverty and I grew up through a lot of crap. I went to college and I was expelled for bad choices. I was in and out of jail. I have a brain injury from sports that affects sometimes when I speak, I get nervous and I can't get my words out right. And so I was so excited to finally have overcome all of these things. I grew up thinking I was a statistic. And I was like, you know what? 8 months in this business and I made it, you guys. But if you know anything about owning a business or this industry, it's not a straight like shot. And so like 2 months later, it started toppling and it's been an up and down road since. And I've learned an entire new appreciation for this business. I'm going through an immense season of growth right now. As you know, she mentioned, I just had a baby. I was pregnant in Nashville. So my daughter, she's 5 months old, completely transformed my world and my why. I was no longer fighting to escape this life that I had grown up in, but now I'm fighting to create a life for her. And it's put me into a season of growth, a season of having to learn how to prioritize my time, how to work this business differently. And so I'm definitely in a growth mindset. So this may be a little bit different of a Zoom that you guys are hearing me share on, because I'm taking a very different stance on things nowadays. But I'm just really excited to be here. I'm really excited for all this business has provided for me and how I know it is going forward. I know I can sit here and create a life so different than what I knew. I know my daughter doesn't have to worry about not seeing her parents. My dad worked in other states all the time, and me and my husband were always here. And when she needs something, we can provide it, and I can be home and I can just show her how to dream differently in a way I didn't know. And so I'm excited for this new chapter that we're starting and this new journey and how it works kind of fits into that.
That's awesome. Gosh, such a great story. And you've overcome so many adversities in your personal life. It's really amazing. And here you are still doing your business, settling in with your baby, who, by the way, if you've been on her page at all, seen any of her stories, that baby is so beautiful. She's gorgeous. Those eyes, so beautiful. We would love to know how you have been able to achieve 8 success bonuses. We would love to know what's gone on with you to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. So that's why I wanted to kind of segue in and let you guys know about this new season, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I did, but I'm also going to tell you not to go do it, because it is not the best way to build your business. And I'm having to redo and rebuild a lot now because of that. Like I said at the beginning, guys, I have a real strong work ethic and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So when I saw this bonus, when the bonus opportunity came out in the beginning with Christmas cash, I'm strong red, y'all. I don't like change. I don't like things to be different. And so it floored me. I put the brakes on. I did not earn a single Christmas cash. So I want to put that out there, because she just said I earned 8 success bonuses. So if you've not earned success bonuses so far, that does not disqualify you from earning them going forward. I didn't do Christmas cash. I did not get a single one. But come the first month, once we switched to success bonuses, I earned, I want to say 2 that month. So you're not disqualified at this point. You still qualify for this. And now it's part of the compensation plan, you guys. That means that you get to figure out this mess if you haven't done it or haven't done it consistently forever. This is something that you always get to keep adding onto your paycheck, which is so dang exciting. I don't know about you, but I like that. I see dollar signs right there. Okay. So I decided once we kind of switched to the success bonuses, I was like, you know what? I'm not happy with my pay. I'm not happy with my income, and I'm not happy with the fact that I don't feel like I can control it. You know, commissions, love them. Obviously, that's how we get paid, but it's a percentage. It fluctuates month to month. And I was really wanting something to be more steady. I was pregnant and I was like, I need to build something consistent that I know I can count on to the dollar. And so that's what I allowed these success bonuses to be for me. And so I started out like doing it all by myself, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing all 6 distributors. I was doing all the customers and all of that. And then that became a lot of work, especially being pregnant. So I shifted and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna coach these people and I'm gonna do the duplication, because you know that's what we want in business, right? If you're not duplicating, then you're running a job. You don't have a business. You have to show up every single day. And if you're not showing up, your business is not running. And I don't know about you guys, I don't want a job. I wanted a business, something to run itself. So I started working really hard on duplication. And that's about where I showed up at Nashville. And Kami had asked me to speak on duplication, which seemed crazy because I've never duplicated before this point in my business. And so I was working really hard to start working with my girls, but life got stressful again. I was getting close to being due with my daughter, and in typical fashion, what we like to do when we get nervous, when we get stressed, instead of having open hands and letting God do what God can do, we close them. And we're back to like, I've got to, and I've got to, and I've got to. And so I let all of that go. And I went right back to doing it all by myself. And so I've just done both sides of it, you guys. And I can promise you now, going forward, me and my team, we're doing things entirely different. And we are very much working on implementing the duplication, because that's what's really going to grow your business. Is the money's nice. Yes. All 8 success bonuses, they spent well, you know, I needed that. But that's not something that I would encourage you guys to go out there and do, honestly. There's so much better business, and that's not better business. That's like quick money looking at it now, but that's not going to get you where you want to be in the residual in the long term. So for what I did, I just hustled my booty off. I worked like I've always worked, you know, a lot of post to post, a lot of following up. I know you're gonna talk a little bit more, or have me talk a little bit more in a minute about kind of my specifics with that. But I pivoted a lot. If I saw something working for someone else, I would try that. And then I would sign up my distributors, and then I would start signing up under them. And, you know, I had this idea in my head that I was still going to be coaching these people, that I was just going to give them a couple customers and distributors, but I was still going to work with them. Like they would bounce back, like all of that. But guys, if you just started this business and then someone handed you everything, like, are you going to work for it from there on? Like, no, why? You had everything given to you. You didn't have to fight or work for anything. You don't have the mindset that now it takes to run this business, even if you came in with it. And so I realized that I was completely shooting myself in the foot. And so I tried to fix it, but I was so stuck in that cycle of I need. And so one of my biggest takeaways coming out of CLV was to rebuild our foundation. And I think these success bonuses are absolutely amazing because they are literally paying you to learn how to do that. You know, to have a solid foundation in this business, you need 3 people. Okay, that's it. That's a success bonus, right? You need those 3 people in your top line. Now, I like security, so I think for my foundation, I want like 5 or 6, okay? Someone falls off, I want someone immediately, you know. But you need that solid 3. And so you get that 1 success bonus, you get those 3. If those are your runners, those are your solid people that you're actually taking the time to pour in, man, that's all you need to completely change your business. And so this doesn't technically answer your question because this is not what I was doing, but this is where we're going over here, what we've been working on, is really taking the time to, 1, not sign up every distributor you talk to. Because for me, that's like, what? Like, I don't really care if they have, you know, a knack for this business. I don't care if they can spell right. I don't care if they know how to work social media because I can work it for them, right? And so I'm having to shift from that because that's not going to get me where I want to go. You know, if Walmart is, or we'll do a hair salon. That's easier for me to go with. I like analogies, but sometimes I jump and I'm like, that's not going to work. So hairstylist, okay? So if we're at a hair salon and they're trying to hire someone, they're not going to go hire the garbage man and expect him to walk in and cut people's hair. They're not hiring the right man for the job. Yeah, we're going to hire anyone who can hit submit on an application. That's why we're not getting the distributors that we want in our business. And so we've got to learn to kind of be selective and make sure that we're hiring the right people for the right job. And so I was talking with Ryan Summit CLV about how do we kind of implement this into our business. And I hope this works for you because this is not even at all going with the questions you had for me. This is just where my mind is this morning. But so I was talking to Ryan and he was talking about how to have conversations to learn about people, to really like get to know people. With guys, that's the point of this business, right? If you want a successful business, you have to have people you know. You cannot have just random people on your team. I'm sorry, but I could not run a successful business with you guys as my team. And that's nothing on you because you guys are showing up for your business. You're rock stars, you're at events, you're at trips, you're on Zooms, but you're not my people. I can't tell what your husband's name is, what your kid's name is, what you did for a living before this, if you struggle with anxiety, what you're going through. And I've got to be able to know that to have a successful business. And so that starts before we bring someone and onboard them. And so a quick, easy way to do that is he was talking through is just having a conversation. So I could sit here and I could be like, hey, so I just read this amazing, geez, my brain just completely. Okay, I just read this amazing personal development book by John Maxwell. There we go. That's the name I was looking for. John Maxwell. Like, have you ever heard of John Maxwell? And if they say yes, guess what? They do personal development. Cool. And my company just sent me on this incredible trip. Let me tell you, all you can drink, all you can eat, all the water you want. It was so amazing. We went to Punta Cana. Have you ever been like to the Dominican or anywhere over there? If they say yes or give you a story, they like travel. Check. Cool. Something else I want. So my daughter, she's 5 months old, and we have yet to figure out sleep. Okay. Like, she is up every 2 hours at night for almost 6 months now, and I'm about to lose my mind. Have you ever dealt with something like this with your kids? Like, you got any tricks like to help a mama out? And if they say yes or start giving me advice, guess what? They're a mom. Check. Cool. So I'm having a genuine conversation with people that, one, they're getting to know me. At this point, they know I like John Maxwell. They know I like to travel, and they know I have a daughter who doesn't want to sleep. And I'm also getting to know them because I'm getting to check off these things. And if they don't meet a specific thing, that doesn't mean they're a write-off. Like, I don't just have to work with moms, but this is allowing me to start weeding out to exactly the distributor I want in my business while building that like relationship. And then once you bring them in, you continue that relationship, because our business model now with this bonus is set up to not focus on enrolling and to focus on building relationship and to get paid to do it. And that's where my team going forward, we're kind of shifting our focus. I talked with Amber Parker. If you guys were on the CLV recap Zoom a couple nights ago, it was incredible. Amber really like laid in on it. If not, you guys got to get that recording because it was so good. And so I talked to a friend about the system, and then been talking to her about doing a 4 and 3 onboarding system, which is what we used to do, right? If you guys have been around for a while, our fast starts, it's pretty similar, as we had to have our 3 distributors and our 4 customers and bring that in. And that's kind of what I think my team and me are going to start shifting back to, because what that does is that starts focusing on the team, that you're not mass enrolling, which is so difficult for me to step away from. I have for so long in this business, like I said, I promoted really fast. I went double diamond in 8 months, but that was my last promotion. I've been in this business for 4 years. That's a long time. And yes, I've earned things along the way. I mean, I earned Margaritaville, I earned Winter Circle, I earned C'est La Vie. Like, I've done things to have accomplishments along the way. But for me, I started tying my identity and my worth to my enrollments. And if I wasn't mass enrolling, I was invalid. I was unimportant. I was, who's Mariah? She's irrelevant, because I wasn't mass enrolling within this business, and I didn't feel like I had any worth. And so I'm having to personally shift from that, because anyone can go and sign 1 million customers. There's really nothing to be proud of. Like, if you really work at it and you do what everyone does, like, anyone can do that in your business. What's to be proud of is when you really can start pouring and developing people, when you have the time and the energy to care about your team, to get to know people, to start developing and changing other people's lives, because you can never mass enroll yourself to someone else's success. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been here for 4 years, and I'm so tired of being at the top by myself. I'm so tired of going to these trips by myself. I'm so tired of getting the paychecks and the success bonuses by myself. I'm ready for my team to start having those wins too, almost more so, because I know if my team is winning, I mean, I'm sure you guys heard it. If you guys help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. And so that's really our shift right now going forward, to earn more success bonuses, because we're going to do that, but we're going to do that the right way. And I'm going to do that in the way that is going to take my team to go earn their success bonuses by completely rewiring our system, going back to focusing on the individual, focusing on that relationship, and knowing that the rest is going to kind of come together from there. I know that wasn't the exact direction you wanted, but hopefully that one counts.
I'm telling you what, I actually feel a little emotional just hearing you. You're so passionate about building the relationships with people. And that is so awesome to build that foundation. It just kind of stirs me. Really, it does. Building the relationship is what it's all about. And there's such a shift anyway on in everything that's the changes. And now's a perfect time to start building with the qualities of people that you need on your team. I think that's awesome. I wanted to have you just hit on what are your daily non-negotiables. You have your set list, I'm sure, of things that you do every day. And if you could just hit your high points of your daily non-negotiables, I would love that.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't know if you picked up on that yet, but I like to shoot it straight. Okay. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, because I think sometimes we look at these top leaders and we think their life is so perfect and they have their perfect 6 list and their business is just thriving. And we don't always see the nitty-gritty behind it. And I think that's so important. I believe transparency shoots or breeds transparency, and I'm all about it. So I'm gonna be honest, in this season of my life, I am lucky to wake up and get through the day. Like, I don't have a solid list. And I will tell you, my business reflects that. So definitely not recommending. But I also think it's important to not just look for a magic list, but look for the right list for you. And so I've always kind of gone since they came out with the KPIs, just because I like that it's duplicatable. We literally have a piece of paper that corporate made that has the tasks on it and how many times to do it and what to do for an entire week. And for me, that's easy. That's a system. That's like, okay, I can show my team, corporate put this together. So there's confidence in backing. I'm not just saying it's something I did. It's a third-party resource. If you guys know Lanisa, she's all about them third parties. And so it's a third-party resource that you're able to show, like, our corporate team put this together. This is what top leaders do. Do this and you'll have success. So for me, I love it. It's easy. It's duplicatable. So that has been roughly my task list for a while now. You're posting, you're following up, your friend request, your host to post, your messages, pretty much you guys should know what that is. And if you don't, reach out to your upline and I promise you they have that KPI for you. And so I also think it's important to be flexible, because the truth is you're going to go through life. Like, it's not always gonna be cupcakes and rainbows. You're not always gonna have time to do everything on your list. And so you've got to be flexible and be yourself, okay? Like, I know there's people out there who can take time and write amazing posts and that grow their business and that, fill their soul. Like, there's some people who love to do that. And that's something that like feeds them and then gets results. I'm not that person. I get strung out on words and overthink it, and it'll take me hours to try to write an amazing post. And at this season, I can't do that every single day. So that's something for me that I'm putting on auto drive right now. I am batching content once a week, or I'm following top leaders, taking their contact, and then, important, changing it to sound like me and my story. I'm not going to say sis in a post. If you see on my page sis, you can just message me and call me out, because you will never hear me call someone sis in real life. Okay, that's not me. And so I'm making sure that I'm making these posts sound like me and be authentic still. But I am using templates right now from other leaders, because that's not something that needs my attention. That's something that's taking away from what I have to give and from my business in this season. Follow-ups. I love me some follow-ups. I can sit there for hours and do follow-ups. And so that's something I'm doing as often as I can. Host to post. Oh man, host to post. So like, I'm a firm believer in host to post. I always have. It's how I built a double. It's how I've earned 90% of these trips. But it also, again, you got to be fluid. Okay. Don't just beat a dead horse if it's not working. And I'm not saying host to post doesn't work, because host to post works, but the methods of doing host to post don't always work. And so if you're putting up a giveaway post every couple of days and you get like 5 comments, stop doing that. That's not doing anything for your business. That's not doing anything for you. If anything, it's discouraging you. It's making host to post harder for you. Because guess what? There's a bunch of different ways to get people to post for you. And if that's not working, find another. For me, I went through a season where host to post was like a formality. I did it because I know it can grow my business. I know it has in the past, but I did it just to do it because nothing was happening. And so there's other things. Go message your friends list. Go send out friend requests, because the whole point of host to post and why it's working for you is it is getting your name out there for referrals and it's growing your network. If host to post itself is not working, get your name out there and get referrals, grow your network. It does not have to be this cookie cutter box. It may look like cold messaging. It may look like asking people for referrals. Like, guys, this business has shifted so much over the past years to be solely on social media. We forget sometimes the power of like real people. Ask someone. If I have a customer, you best believe I'm asking them to send me 3 of their friends that they think they would be interested in this product. not a host to post, just a straight up send me these people. Because referrals, direct referrals, are way more powerful, because I can tell you, if someone does post a post for me, if they go and comment their results, or they comment that they bought, or tell their friends they bought, those people start coming to me off this post. Like, not just commenting, like messaging me, like, hey, Lisa posted and I know she bought those gummies and lost 30 pounds. Like, I want that. You're going to get that the same way when you're asking people for referrals. And that does the same thing as host to post does. And so in this season, it's kind of chaos. It's a beautiful chaos. I'm learning to be a mom, and I've always wanted to be a mom. I've always worked with moms on my team, but you guys, I never really understood the level of being a mom could be when you're on the clock 24/7. I'm saying we're 6 months in almost. She doesn't sleep, only contact naps, really doesn't want you to not be looking at her. And so working's been really, really hard for me. I've never had to prioritize at all. It was just me and my husband for years, so I could just work all the time. Like, I mean, obviously we go on a date, I'll put my phone down, but that's not a 24-hour commitment. And so I've had to shift a lot and really prioritize each day what is going to be most effective for my business today. If maybe it is a day that I have to focus on content, maybe it's a day that I focus on friend request or following up. And I think it's important to allow ourselves the grace of not doing it all the time. Because we get so caught up in, like, I have to do all these tasks every single day to have a successful business. Well, you guys, I earned a success bonus last month, and I earned a success bonus the month before. And granted, I did it on myself, so I'm not recommending this, okay? Remember our conversation a couple minutes ago. But I did all of that with this wackadoo task list, just trying to survive my normal life. So it's okay to go through those seasons where you don't know what it looks like. You just find the things that are working, prioritize those things, and then start working to get back well-rounded. You can be in any season. You can hit any obstacle, because life is going to come and life is going to go and things are going to happen. The thing is you do what you got to do to survive, and that's okay. You don't have to feel bad because you didn't get 3 posts up today. You know, the past couple months I've been posting once a day if I'm lucky. And I know it's not what I necessarily need to be doing, but sometimes I have to prioritize my host to post and my follow-ups instead of posting because I need the results. And right now that's what I'm doing. But you don't stay in that season of survival forever. That's like trying to tread water waiting for the rescue boat. You only have so long that you can survive before that boat has to come and save you. And that boat comes, and that's when you start getting back to that task list. That's when you start prioritizing doing all your KPIs, because you also have to take into, yes, you can survive, and give yourself that grace, girl. I don't know if you needed that today, but you were allowed to have that grace to just do what it takes. But when you want to build that foundation and you want to have that thriving, successful, self-dependent, independent business, it's going to come from duplicating your action. Your team's only going to duplicate about half of what you're doing. So when you are in those survival modes, you can't expect then your team to be out there getting up 7 million host to post and posting 12 times a day and going live every 30 minutes, because you're not even doing a fraction of that. And so it's important to give yourself grace, but then also give your team grace, because they also are going to duplicate what you're doing, and so you've got to step it up when you're ready, give yourself the grace, give your team that grace, and then get it all back a rolling.
That's awesome. Gosh, I can't even believe 30 minutes has zipped on past us here.
My husband's home today, so if you want to keep going with your questions, I can sit here a little bit longer.
In the last few seconds before we have to get off, though, I would love it if you would just kind of hit on how your faith factors into your business.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I know that you are strong on faith.
I've actually never been asked this question before, so I was really excited that you asked this. I've never really thought about it in words of how to explain. And I've never been asked. It's just kind of who I am. And I think that's important, to know who you are. Like I was saying with wanting to attract the right team, is you got to know what you're looking for and who you are. And for me, faith is who I am. It's not part of my life. It's not like this thing I sprinkle in. It's who I am. And so that's going to automatically start reflecting in my content. That's going to reflect in my conversations. That's going to reflect in my team. And it's important to remember and create those pillars, if you've heard, like your 5 pillars of who you are, because that's what's going to start going. And so I think this has been most influential in my business, it's hard to say most influential because I mean, God technically, he is reign of all of it. So he is the only influence, but it's been most influential in my business when it comes to personal development. Because I think it has allowed me to, not just for myself, but with my team, explain and teach that personal development, it's not just a task. Because, my faith is not a task. I'm not reading my Bible every morning and checking it off. I'm not praying before I go to bed and then checking it off. It's something that I live and do. And personal development within this business, it comes a lot from faith, you guys. Like there's a lot of doing the devos and doing the journaling, even if you're not a Christian and even if you don't have that faith, those aspects, the journaling, the positive thinking, all of that is still kind of a version of faith. And so it's incorporating it into every aspect of your life. You're not sitting down and checking off your personal development first thing in your morning because it's on your task list. You're checking off your personal development first thing in your morning because it's like oxygen. It's what you need to breathe and have life in your day, in your business. And then if you guys have heard me do this analogy, it's my favorite when it comes to personal development, which I feel like for me at least is hand in hand with faith, because all of my things kind of revolve around that. And so if you know anything about NASCAR, okay, that's like a 200 lap race. Those cars get out there and they go. And the cool thing about a NASCAR is they can go for 200 laps. Like they're fine. They can just, they can keep going. And but the thing is they sit there and they go 200 laps. They're not going to win. They got to have pit stops where they get refueled. And so your personal development, doing it first thing in the morning is not always enough. Sometimes you got to take a pit stop. To have the most effective day, to have the most connected day, you've got to take those personal development pit stops throughout the day where you pray, where you do gratitude again. And I'll say this quick fact with gratitude. I'm doing a leadership course right now to kind of help restructure as I'm moving through this less of me, more of my team mode. And he was talking about stop doing gratitude and start doing appreciations. This is so cool to me because it's like one thing to say, I'm grateful for my daughter. But like, it's another thing to say, I appreciate that I'm able to stay home with my daughter every day. Whoa. And then, I'm grateful that I don't have to go to a job. Well, I appreciate that I can be in the comfort of my home every day, no matter what the weather is. I don't have to worry about getting a coat, and switching from gratitude to appreciation. That's just a little freebie I'll sprinkle in that I'm just loving right now, kind of shifting in my life. But I think it's important just to stay connected, because I don't know about you guys. I know obviously you got a great upline who put the Zoom together for you. Okay. But as leaders, especially in this industry, we've gone through a lot of shifts with this company, and a lot of the up leaders, the ambassadors, and triples and presidents and people that we looked up to have stepped away and gone on a different venture. And so for me, I haven't had an upline in this business for 3.5 years. So I've been all by myself for a very long time. And being in that place is I don't have someone to pour into me. I don't have someone to remind me I can do this. I don't have someone there on the bad days when I want to throw in the towel because I don't feel like I'm qualified. I don't feel like I can ever do this. I don't feel like I can sign another customer because it's not working and I'm so distraught and I don't have anyone that I can go to. I don't have someone to pour that back in. And so when you don't have anyone, guess who you got? You got God. And he's there to fill your cup. You don't need that upline and you don't need those connections and you don't need to be on so-and-so's team because you love the way she runs it. You've got to be connected with your source. I'm working through, like I said, this leadership course, and it's all about the power of belief, because your actions will never be enough to get you where you want to go. Your belief has to do it. And, guys, belief is the same as faith. It's so hard to sit here and be like, you know what, I'm going to be triple diamond and actually think that means anything, because I've been pushing for triple diamond for over 3 years. But that's where faith comes in. Faith is belief in the things that we can't see. And for me right now, I can't see that promotion. Maybe you can't see Ruby. Maybe you can't see Diamond. Maybe you can't see a success bonus or a foreign friend or even signing a distributor. But that's where that faith comes in. That connection to the source is you have faith that God did not bring you to this business for nothing. You have faith that he didn't bring you here to let you flounder, that this is just this, mistake. You are here for a reason, and you pour into and you connect with that source and that faith that it is going to come together in the perfect and right time for you, your family, and your business. And, bringing it all back in gratitude to God, because it's so easy to get caught up and be like, I'm stuck. I've been here for 4 years and I'm not where I want to be. But guys, I'm so different than I was 4 years ago. The person I am today is just so far different. I wouldn't even recognize me from 4 years ago. I'm here and I'm working from home, and it's hard a lot of days, and I don't know what I'm doing while doing this with my baby, but guess what? I'm here because God has provided that for me. And that gratitude just brings it all back full circle and just invites him back into that space of your business.
That's so awesome, Mariah. Thank you so much. We are way over time, but we did have a question. And I'd love for you to tap on that, and then we're going to skedaddle out of here. It's from Ashley. She said, I know a bunch of us are trying to adjust to the new launch with pricing and how to navigate the new. Do you have any tips, since we have launched these new things, like with scripts or anything that is working for you? I know we're all trying to tweak things and work together. It's kind of discouraging, and we're just looking for some positive tips. And Lucy backed on that by saying, and would love to know how you incorporate the new $19.95 charge into your scripts.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, you guys, I don't like change. So I got stuck beforehand, and I was like, I really had to get on myself, and I was like, Mariah, you cannot let this shut you down. You cannot let this change shut you down. You got goals, you got things happening. We got to keep it going. And so for me, I think it's important with everything. I'm trying to pull up my script for you guys, but I think it's important with the business in every aspect is you make sales when you are confident in what you're doing, right? That's why it's easy to sign up customers, way easier to sign up customers than distributors. Customers, you have to be confident in the product, that it works, that it does what it says. As long as you have that, you've seen the results, cool, you have the faith to sell it. Being a distributor, you have to be confident in your ability to lead, to be able to help these people achieve goals. That's a lot harder, right? And so I just took that and applied it to this new program. I'm confident in our corporate team. I'm confident in Mark and his choices. I'm confident in Doug, and I'm confident in Meredith. I've had personal conversations with them going over things like they truly have our best interest at heart. They truly are doing everything they can to take It Works beyond $1 billion and to make this an even deeper legacy company. So I have confidence in them and their decisions. And they told me this is what's going to work and this is what's going to help us. I have confidence in the script. I have confidence in this new customer program. Doesn't mean it's as easy as it was before, because I've been doing this for 4 years with the same script, the same system, knowing what I'm talking about. I've definitely had a slowdown with customers as I'm working through it. But it's important, like we were just talking about faith, you got to have the faith in what you're doing. And so I don't have the faith in myself yet. I don't have the faith in this customer program yet, but I have the faith in our corporate staff and that they have our best interest at heart. So I'm borrowing that belief as I'm going forward and explaining this program. And I think that's where it's all got to start, is you got to believe that it's going to be for your best interest and that this is going to help your business. And I can send you my script after this, but I'll read it to you guys really quick. I'm not in love with it, but it's a work in progress. And right now it's the progress we're working on. So one thing I will add with that, because what floored me more than like the program was the new minimum customer order to be qualified for bonuses. How we went from 25 to 50. And I was like, I sign up a lot of gummy orders. Like that's what I do a lot. And that's like 30 PV. So that's not going to work for me. And so I started recently, you'll see on my page if you guys follow me, but I only really advertise 2 products at a time. I'm going to get my BV, which in the long run, you guys, that's only up in your check. If I'm used to doing 30 BV and now I'm doing 50 to 60 per customer, that's like double for the same amount of work. So it ends up panning out, but there's that. That's what I'm doing, pivoted, posting only 2 products. So this is a pricing script for just the gummies, but I'll tell them that they have to get 2 bottles. So again, hit that 50 BV. So I say, so the gummies retail for $104 for 2 bottles, but I have this available for $78 with my Join and Save Perks customer program. You lock in your 25% discount, like having a Costco or Amazon Prime membership, but ours is way cheaper at just $19.95 for a year. Plus the discount now applies to all my other 40 plus products. Monthly orders are optional, but I do recommend them for best results. And you're even gonna get a free gift from me and access to first to know flash sales and discounts. How does that sound for you? So it just kind of, I think I think I had to cross the same bridge as when I first started my business with the auto ship. I was like, how do I tell these people that they have to order 3 months? Like, people aren't going to want to do that. Well, I think that same mindset, because we all had that at some point. At some point in time, you were like, what if they don't want to order for 3 months? Or you had people telling you when you got started, they didn't want to order for 3 months. And we had to cross that, get in our system, get in our routine, get in what we were confident with. And then we started just expecting people to order for 3 months, because that's what we were offering. And that's how you're going to get your results. Well, that's all this is. We have to start cross that bridge of people aren't going to want to pay a $20 membership fee to get to the point of like, they want the product, they want the result. This is how they do it. You just simplify it. I was on a Zoom with Stacey Hansen forever ago. And she was telling me that in business, there's two things. You have your emotions and you have your mechanics. And a lot of times where we get stuck is when we cross those lines. Your personal development, that's emotional. Your posts, you're writing that's emotional. Your time with your team, that's emotional. But your mechanical, that's your scripts, that's your messaging, that's your price scripts. And when we start putting our feelings into it of, I'm nervous, I don't know what they're going to think, how do I say this, how do I do that, we're crossing that line and we're putting our emotion in a place where it should be mechanical. And so we're projecting now our fears, our doubts, our feelings onto our potential customers instead of letting it be this mechanical function, because this is the way it is. Accept it, figure out your script, how you're going to say it, and then this is the way it is. This is the law. This is how it's going to happen. And they're going to love it because they want the product. And you take that emotion out, you put it on mechanical drive, and then you just go through it. And it all kind of works its ways out.
So good. Oh my goodness. Well, gosh, we've got to get off of here, but this has been absolutely amazing. And I know that my whole team has loved this. I've absolutely loved it. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you being willing to hop on with us. And if you guys can like turn your cameras on and somebody can take our picture. And Mariah, you're going to send me that script also.
Yeah.
And then